No mai haere mai. It's the Huddy Hui. Find Huddy Sports on Instagram and Facebook. huddysports.co.nz. Now let's kōrero.
Kia ora, good evening and welcome back to the Huddy Hui for 2025. And what another stunning year of sport and rugby we've got coming up here on Huddy Sports. And it's great to be back on the Hui for another season, another thrilling year of having some sensational guests back on the sporting podcast here from the capital city in Wellington. We have two guests for you tonight. Our first guest went to the Olympics last year. He's previously also went to the Olympics in Tokyo in 2021, having a year off from kayaking as he's back here in the capital city. And I got to caught up with him a few weeks ago to talk about his kayaking career and his future ambitions. Kurtis Imrie is our first guest on the Hui tonight. Sit back and enjoy. We're here with New Zealand Olympian Kurtis Imrie. Kurtis, thanks for coming on the Huddy Hui. How's your summer been? Has there been much kayaking involved?
I'm actually on a little bit of a sabbatical at the moment, so been doing a little bit of paddling, but more surf ski paddling up at Surf Club. Getting out in the ski, so it's kind of a kayak race through waves. So doing a bit more of that, and kind of enjoying my summer. Not full time training at the moment, so. Yeah, it's probably the first time in a while that hang out with my mates rather than rushing off to a session before catching up. So I enjoyed my summer.
You're wearing your Olympic kit here tonight. Paris 2024. We'll talk about Paris very soon and also your experience in Tokyo back in 2021. There's a strong family connection with kayaking. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, obviously my sister went to the Rio Olympics. I guess put the true, belief into myself. I guess growing up, you always want to go to the Olympics, watch the Michael Phelps of the world, the Usain Bolts. But you think, they're not human. And then, started being pretty good through the age groups through my kayaking stuff. And then my sister made the Olympics in Rio. So I was like, she can, why can't I? So I guess after that was the goal to try to get both of us to Tokyo, and I managed to get myself to Tokyo. So it was, I guess, a dream come true.
And where did your interest in kayaking begin for you? You're a former student of Newlands College. I remember you telling me before the interview started that kayaking really wasn't a sport there. Tell us about, one, how you got into kayaking in your time at Newlands College.
I actually got into kayaking through a lady. My mum was heavily involved in netball at Nainai Collegiate, so she had a friend that did surf lifesaving. When I was 9, I got dragged up to surf lifesaving up in Paicock. And then during winter, I just wanted to get better at paddling a surf ski, but pretty fresh and windy in Wellington, so it was better going to Poroa Harbour, find some flat water and go on a kayak. And from there, just, found my groove. Went to a couple nationals, up there in the top 5, and I guess it gave that fire in my belly that I wanted to be the best in the country, and then managed to get a couple national titles, and then from that made my first junior squad when I was 17, and then just a domino effect, wanting to be better and getting a couple results internationally to taste the Olympic dream.
Now, of course, kayaking is one of those sports where you have to get up early and train pretty hard, but you also have a background as a competitive swimmer. Tell us about your time as a competitive swimmer. What club did you swim for, and what was your preferred stroke/event?
Yeah, so I guess grew up, parents got us into the swimming pool, so I did a lot of swimming at Nainai while I was younger at Waddy's Swim Club.
Oh, yes, remember. That was my club too.
Yeah. And then as we moved up out of the Hutt Valley, we lived up in Woodridge by Newlands. We went to Tawa Swim Club. And, my best strokes were 150 50 to 100 meters, butterfly and freestyle. So I went to a couple age group championships for that. But yeah, went the kayaking way because following the black line got a little bit boring for myself.
I did it for about 10 years competitive swimming, and I know what you mean about going up and down the black line. But I was a long distance swimmer, so I used to do all those 8 to 10k sessions, which I don't think you ever did. So probably not.
No. I guess maybe 6k, but probably moaned my way through it.
What are the similarities in training between swimming and kayaking? One, you got to get up early, but what else is similar?
I guess the total, swimming and kayaking, I guess, in a way, it's individual. Can be individual as well as team sports. You've got to get up and do it yourself. So I guess I learned a lot from waking up early as a young kid, going to the swimming pool, getting sessions done, and then getting in a kayak. I guess the first thing for training is you've got to get yourself ready and get to training. So from those sports, I guess I learned a lot of discipline of don't just keep snoozing my alarm to get to training in the morning. And then at training, both sports are quite endurance as well as can be some speed stuff. So I guess I was pretty lucky getting into swimming and into kayaking. I had a pretty good base from what I'd done in the pool.
Surf life saving as well. You mentioned that you also did that for a few years, as well as your brother did as well. Tell us what club you were part of.
So we're at Paikakariki Surf Club. Been my club since I was 9 years old and dragged up there to give it a go, really. My sister was 13, 14, and we just got dragged up from a family friend. Didn't really know what the sport was about. Mum and Dad wanted us to be safe in water, and it's a great sport to get into, not just to be competitive, but to learn about the environments and rips and currents that are out there, because it can be a dangerous place out in the sea. So it was pretty special that we got into that sport, and a lot of respect for the ocean, but also one of my special places that I like to enjoy going surfing.
What was the moment for you when you realised that you could actually make something out of kayaking and take it further?
I think probably going through the age groups, making my first junior crew, under 23s, got close to my last under 23s, and I guess the opportunity with me and my mate Max, we started showing a bit of form in the K2, and then watching my sister qualify the games, and I guess from that, I guess the belief, why not? Why can't I go to the Olympics? So I think I don't think there was a specific moment that was like, yeah, I'm going to do this, but it was, I guess, chasing a dream, going to come true or not. I guess it's a special thing that you're chasing it, but there's also the unknown. So, yeah.
And what is your main speciality event in kayaking? You mentioned your partner Max. Tell us about also your relationship with you two working with one another kayaking.
Yeah, so me and Max, I guess I got a pretty special relationship. He came down to Wellington when I was still 17, 18. So he came down, because he's a year older than me, came down to the university. So that was quite good. We were training together out in Porirua Harbour. We've become a centralised program up in Auckland for a year, and then I've been in Waikato for the last 7. So I guess we've been brothers every single day. We've been at sessions, 2 to 3 sessions a day, 6 days a week. So we're probably hanging out with each other more than our girlfriends or our parents. So you get to know each other quite a lot, and then also trying to qualify this for the games. We obviously went through some hurdles, but we learned a lot, and our relationship really become stronger from that. We obviously, our first Olympics become the COVID Olympics. We qualified for the Olympics outright. Got told we were going to the Olympics, then we got shut down. So that was a pretty hard pill to swallow for both of us.
And when you mentioned the Olympics got shut down because of COVID. I think I remember you telling me that you had to re-qualify. Is that correct?
We didn't have to re-qualify the boat for the Olympics, but we had to re-trial for the boat. So we had qualified, we had won the selection. We were the boat going to the Olympics. The Olympics got delayed a year, so our federation said, I guess the only fair way to do it is we train for another year and we trial before a boat goes to the Olympics. So that was quite, I guess, tough to hear for us, but also amazing news for, I guess, our teammates. They had another carrot in front of them to chase. Their Olympic dreams weren't over. So we learnt a lot because through that period of time, I guess motivation up from sport is not always high. Kind of riding the roller coaster. We were getting beaten. We were a lot like, oh, we're gonna lose our spot. And then right before the Olympics, before the last trial, we managed to pull ourselves out of the hole we were kind of in, because we're kind of, I guess, not fighting each other physically, but mentally we both wanted to go to the Olympics. If it was with each other or not, it was a different story. And then we had a good, I guess, chat about it, lined up and said, nah, we want to do this together for each other. And we really got the best out of each other and won the first two out. It was best out of three. Yep. First two races. She was all over, and then we raced the same crew at Nationals by 10 seconds. So the boat was good enough, just the belief at the time was challenging.
It certainly would be. Not many athletes have to go through what you and your partner Max had to go through in terms of, thinking you're already there at the Olympics. Next thing you know, the boat's there, but you two are not basically there yet when it's been delayed a year. But let's talk about training for kayaking. Cambridge has become quite a professional sporting hub for high performance sport. Cycling, you got rowing as well. What is similar between rowing and kayaking in terms of training?
Yeah, I guess pure volume. Both sports are quite, I guess, high input. Well, we race 2 to 3 times a year, so we don't get to compete a lot. That's nationally, and then a couple of races internationally. But yeah, I guess pure volume. We're doing from 100 to 140 k's a week in the boat by ourselves normally. Kayaking, like rowing, jumps in big boats, so they probably cover a little bit more mileage and more endurance sport. But in a way, both diesel engines, we just probably do a little bit more skill stuff on top speed and whatnot, because our events are over. Our shortest event was 40 seconds until the last Olympics. From 40 seconds to a minute and a half. We're rowing around 5.5 minutes, 6.5 minutes. So pure volume is pretty similar, but we got to do a lot of speed work as well.
We can't mention the legend that is the influence of Lisa Carrington in kayaking. What has she passed on to you as a kayaker? Do you think we'll see her at another Olympics?
Yeah, she's been phenomenal. Obviously, for me, she's an open book. I've asked her heaps of questions. She's hauled, I guess, as a bloke, we're all full 100 miles an hour, where I've learnt a lot from her as consistency and stuff. Like, we do 10 efforts. It's trying to hold an average speed rather than myself. I'm pretty good at going out hard and slowly dying away. So, learnt a lot from her, as well as a lot of boat skills. Obviously, she's proven herself that she's the best in K1, K2, and K4. So being so adaptable is phenomenal. So me and Max in the K2, and me, Hamish and Grant in the K4, I guess have learnt a lot from her. And how, I guess, the Olympic champ K4, how they got that result, and we did a lot of sessions with them, and I guess try to do a similar thing, but in our own way.
You mentioned the K4. It's teamwork altogether, 4 different kayakers. Are there certain roles within the boat, and how do you sort of communicate, one when training, but also when it's race time?
Yeah, I guess that's the guess the cool thing about the big boat, it's a big communication thing. When we race, we can't really communicate.
Yep.
Like we're all just going as hard as we can, but we do have a plan throughout a race. It's more the, I guess, the preparation, the type of sessions we're doing. So I guess an easy way to explain it to you guys, roles. So the front guy, I guess, is driving the boat. He's in the rhythm. So that was Max in the rhythm. Then there was Grant. He's, I guess, the powerhouse as well as staying in time with Max or just in front of Max. Because if he's behind Max, Max will be taking a lot of load if he's hidden too early, and it doesn't help with his rhythm, as well as if he dies at the end of the race, the boat dies.
Yep.
So he's kind of got to, I guess, compose himself throughout the end. I'm seat 3, so I'm, I guess, a powerhouse in the boat, and seat 4 is either a big starter, because we're a heavy boat, we've got to get off the mark very fast, or just the third engine. Those pieces, have them all running together. Otherwise, it can be challenging. We're in a boat that is, I guess, really unstable, and 4 guys trying to move similar ways. So we got in the boat for the games 3-4 months out, trying to get in the boat a couple times a week just to get the feel and find each other, because we've got strong guys, endurance guys, and it's just trying to put all the pieces together to get the best result for that boat.
The ultimate jigsaw, one would probably describe it as. Let's talk about, you mentioned Tokyo, going to Tokyo in 2021. Tell us about your experience at your first Olympics, but also how did the impacts of the COVID restrictions at Tokyo make it harder to prepare for races?
I guess both my Olympic experiences are completely different, but special in their own right, because I learnt a lot from the COVID Olympics. I think from New Zealand's lockdowns and masks and stuff, we kind of got used to it, and we're pretty, I guess, I wanted to go to the Olympics if I had to wear a mask and be careful, all that kind of stuff to get the best result. That's what I was going to do. So going over there, leaving the country of a bubble that, I guess, at the time we were kind of reasonably free compared to the rest of the world, was, I guess, a little bit daunting, but training was pretty good building up to the Olympics. Got over there, just getting used to the heat, I think, was the biggest struggle for myself. Being a bigger guy, get hot. I guess you struggle for the first week just to get used to the temperature. So we went over there for a week or 2 before we raced. And the first week for me, the temperature, because you're racing 80 plus humidity, 30, 40 degrees. We don't get that really in New Zealand, so you kind of just got to dive into it and see how you adapt. And by the time we got to racing, the body was feeling good. The temperature wasn't. It felt like where we trained in Komatsu before going to Tokyo was a lot hotter. So in a way, it was nice. We got a little bit more of a sea breeze in Tokyo rather than where we were in Komatsu. And then another special thing about the Olympics, being at the Olympic Village, and the tight-knit team we were, because we didn't have our families and friends around to, I guess, celebrate after. So you come back to the village and you get to know all your mates. Like we're Max, hanging out with David Letty, David Nika, Sam Tanner, Worlds, and it's pretty special to get to know, I guess, the other best guys in the country at their sport, competing on the highest level.
What was your biggest learnings from that period of your first Olympics, and what did that teach you as a person and an athlete?
I guess the biggest learnings from that was lining up my first Olympics was the big word of Olympics rather than it's just another race. We had our coach at the time. He was Olympic champ at Athens for K1 1,000 meters, so he gave us a lot of experiences of what can happen in the Olympic Village, trying not to get too overwhelmed, by the, I guess, the superstars that are around us, all shapes and sizes. So I guess the biggest learning was if you get there and prepared, I guess learnt a lot from holding your composure, because there were a lot of crews weekend in there. We were ranked last, but there was a lot of boats throughout the heats, quarters, semis, finals. You could see that we're all in tip-top physical shape that we all possibly could be in. But it was, I guess, trying to keep this guy in your head all together. And at the end of the day, it's just another race, so try not let it be too overwhelmed. So I think that was the biggest learning for Max and I, was I guess we were the kind of crews that we had a crew that had nothing to lose, so we progressed each race. We weren't thinking about the final. We were like, and not getting too far ahead of ourselves, and then also not getting too excited as well. So, yeah.
Now let's talk about 3 years later, and last year in particular, Paris Olympics. It's actually a crowd. It's in a dynamic city. How did you find your second round of the Olympic experience?
I guess from the first Olympics, I learned a lot about the Olympic Village, the athletes around, and all I guess how the whole event ran. But the noise.
Yeah, the noise.
The noise was completely different, but we did a lot of scenarios while we were training, like we go do starts and stuff like that, and our coach puts a speaker on where, like, normally we're at events and nobody.
Yeah.
Rocking up to a kayak event that's got 26,000 people, 500 our events are 500 meters. You've got a grandstand to 400 plus people standing on the grass.
Yep.
So it's just a wave of noise.
Yeah.
But then the challenge of racing the K4 was a new thing to me and Max as well. We weren't racing the K2. We was trying to get 4 guys to lock in and do it. So I think, yeah, that was a special thing for us as a team, and having our family and friends there was even more special.
There are many complaints about a certain river in Paris, the River Seine. Now, if you were doing a triathlon, would you have swum in that river?
I think most athletes get to that point, and yeah, I would have swam in it. I hopefully didn't get as crook as some of them, but you train so hard for so long, and every 4 years is the pinnacle event to swim in that river. And I guess the French tried their best to make it as clean as possible, but yeah, unfortunately, a few things made it through the gates.
Yeah, they certainly did. So now let's talk, regardless of whatever event it is, whether it's the Olympics, whether it's a national race or some regatta overseas, what do you do in terms of preparation before a game and before a race, but also to get into the mindset? You've been there at that higher level. What is it that you need to do to get yourself into that mindset?
I guess preparing myself and knowing with my team, knowing the plan from the start to finish, kind of getting locked in and understanding our roles and stuff off the boat. If I know I'm locked in on the plan the day before, a couple of days before, I find it pretty easy. Like I'm a racer. I do train hard, but I prefer the big events, getting on and proving yourself. So I think as long as I've got confidence in the plan, what we've done before, the racing stuff can look after itself. But one thing I do try to do, most important for me, is just being organised the day before. It's having your race number, your race suit, your paddle, all that kind of stuff, and then checking your gear the morning of, so then you don't have any doubts on something breaking or I forgot something. So those are a few things that I like doing before racing at a big event.
What was the toughest moment you've had in your kayaking experience so far, and what did you learn from that?
I guess I've already voiced a little bit. It was probably the qualifying for my first Olympics and getting my spot taken away from me for a period of time. It wasn't taken away from me, luckily. was, I guess, proving yourself, and then you got to prove yourself again. So that period of time between qualifying for the Olympics, getting postponed, and going into another trial and trying to hold my spot, or it wasn't my spot. I was trying to re-earn the spot that I earned before. I learned a lot of, I guess, resilience and determination through that period, because there was periods of time that I was not motivated, but I'd still turn up, get the work done, and I guess, trying to see the light at the end of the tunnel when you are in this dark place.
When you're not kayaking, what do you do in your downtime? Mostly you're based in Cambridge. What do you do when you're not in that mode of kayaking or training?
When I'm not in kayaking training, I enjoy going out to Raglan for a surf, going out with my girlfriend, Gina, going out doing coffees, taking the dog for a walk, we've got a rooftop tent, so going camping, just getting away from the speed of high performance sport and trying to perform every single day. So it's nice to go away and try decompress every now and again when I have the time.
Kayaking, of course, is a fair bit of travelling, and tell us about that, because often your training pitch is different from that up in the Northern Hemisphere, isn't it?
Yeah, so I guess the lucky thing for us is you've got your kayak, water. And we've travelled the world going over to Italy and whatnot, and man, it's some beautiful places. Definitely prefer to do kayaking over swimming. It's not the same black line. A lot of black line, you're swimming on the other side of the world. And Slovenia, Italy, some Poland and whatnot. It's different water, but you're in some phenomenal environments around you. So yes, we do have a lot of travel when we need to get over there, and we've got to get used to jet lag and whatnot. But when you're out on the water, between the cliffs, if you're paddling, it's pretty special. There's not many people that get to go over, and even the locals from over there have probably never even seen these bushes that we're seeing out the back of their town that you've paddled up the creek. So it's a pretty special sport that,
You mentioned that you're having a sabbatical this year from kayaking. What are you doing to, one, fill in your time, not having to worry about those early morning wake-up calls and training?
Yeah, so I've obviously moved back to Wellington. My uncle's offered me a job at Woodridge Homes. I guess a management role, project management role. So I'm learning a lot of that. Like, I'm a qualified electrician.
Yep.
I moved more into construction with the family, so I've been learning heaps about that. And it's quite exciting. Also been doing a little bit of multi-sport races, bit of pre-season rugby, and obviously getting into doing surf again. So got surf nationals in a couple of weeks.
Where are the surf nationals? Up in the Mount, is it?
We're in Gisborne this year.
Gisborne?
Yep, Main Beach, Gisborne. So I enjoy going to Gisborne. Obviously, it's a big drive to get there, but it's an awesome beach.
Now, your brother Ryan has played well over many games for the local rugby club in the Hutt Valley, Batoni Rugby Club. He's had to fill in the hooking jersey a lot due to a lot of players over the years getting injured. Has he tried to, one, get you to play rugby? And I've heard that you've also been down at their pre-season trainings as well.
Yeah, so obviously my brother's, he's on like 85, 86 games. So he's pretty close to the ton. So, he's dragging me down, and I'd be pretty excited to get on the field and hopefully be on the field when he hits the milestone of 100. Yeah. Hopefully this season or another season. Otherwise, I'll have to play 2 seasons. But so that's something a goal that he's set to make to 100. So he's dragged me down, and I'm hoping that I can finish off his little journey to 100. And if I get on the field or I'm on the sideline, that'd be cool to be there.
Now, you haven't been training for kayaking, but on Saturday you took part in the Batoni Man, which is Batoni's annual pre-season racing competition. You finished first. Tell us how many minutes you won by and what is actually involved in the Batoni man.
I'm not sure how much I won by, but we had a good tussle, us boys up the front. So yeah, the race has been going on for some time now. We raced from Batoni Rugby Club up Korokoro, around down through the bush track back. I think it's around 6k. For that first leg, get on our bikes, bike out to Eastbourne, get off our bikes, run over Butterfly Creek, back to our bikes and back all the way to the club. And yeah, and some of those boys were flying. I was just lucky, got onto the bike. Three of us that got on the bike at the end, and I had a little bit more juice than them. So I managed to come away with a win. But no, it's a pretty cool event.
LA Olympics in 2028. Lisa Carrington might be going. You've got ambitions to achieve your third Olympic dream?
Yeah, always got ambitions to go to a third Olympics. But right now I'm just having a bit of a break, mental break more than anything. Physically, I'm still keeping pretty fit. And yeah, just seeing how where the men's programs come from at the start, with not really having, I guess, a pathway to now having a K2 at Tokyo to K4. I'm excited to see how those boys keep the team progressing, and yeah, I could also by the end of the year be back in the mix. But right now I'm just enjoying being back home in Wally, learning a little bit of stuff on the work side of things, and yeah.
Kurtis, many thanks for coming on the Huddy Hui. Not many get to experience the Olympics as an athlete, and you've done it twice, and not many get to achieve that. Well done on what you've done in kayaking, and never know, we might see you on the TV screens in 2028. Many thanks for coming on.
Cheers, thanks for having me.
Awesome, thank you. What a great interview with Kurtis Imrie, and not everyone gets to go to the Olympic Games 2 times. Lucky enough himself, he got to go to Tokyo and Paris last year. So Kurtis, LA, and still opportunity again for you in 4 years' time. Well, our second guest is playing the Crusaders on Saturday. He's previously a Hurricane. He hails from Canterbury. He's a product of Christchurch Boys High School. He's been a blindside flanker, and he's over there in Perth playing for the Western Force. And we caught up with him prior to this weekend Super Rugby game down there in Christchurch, back in his hometown. Reed Prinsep joins us as the guest on the Huddy Hui. We're here with Reed Prinsep from the Western Force joining us on the Huddy Hui. Reed, many thanks for coming on the Hui. Super season to date has been good so far for the Western Force. What's been the keys to the start of the season success?
I think a big part of it was like building a bit of cohesion through the back end of last year. Like once the super season finished up last season, a lot of recruitment happened around players, and a fair hunk of us were together for the Spring Series tour to South Africa last year. So that sort of started that process, getting to understand how we want to play and how each other play. And we had a really good pre-season, a lot of rugby focus, and there's just a real ambition about the club. So, good recruitment, good players now, ambition from, the top down. We've started well. We definitely want to be better. And, as I was saying before, like last week was very disappointing. But, going forward, hopefully we can keep stringing some good wins together.
What were the learnings from that game against the Waratahs last weekend?
Yeah, big one was around our speed to set both sides of the ball. Like we were just sluggish and slow, whether that's in the defensive line making a tackle, getting up, and we're slow to get back in the line, or on attack, slow to get set in our shape, and we just weren't providing any options or any deception. So it was easy for them to sort of get their line speed on us and challenge us in that space. So that was the big one, both sides of the ball, just speed to set.
Been a homecoming of sorts for you this week, being back in Christchurch, your hometown. How's it been being back home in the Garden City?
Yeah, it's been cool. I have to admit, it was a bit weird landing. I was like, just felt a bit off, like not off, but weird that coming back home, but with an Aussie team. But it's been great. It's great to see mum and dad and my brother and his young family. Got a new nephew who's 4 months old, so it was cool to see him for the first time. Caught up with my best mate too, so little things like that on your day off sort of makes it all worthwhile being back home.
Leon McDonald's joined the Force setup in the last few weeks. What has he brought to the Western Force outfit?
Yeah, he's been great. He's not trying to take over or anything like that. He's just adding his experience, and you can really see the detail he brings, whether that's around kick strategy or attack. Just little fine bits of detail that haven't gone unnoticed, but maybe we haven't put enough emphasis on, and he's certainly doing that through his first couple of weeks.
Have you found the lifestyle of rugby in Perth, or in Perth in general?
Yeah, Perth is a hell of a spot. It's like 9 months of the year, like the temperatures 25 plus. Beaches are amazing. So in that respect, it's been unbelievable. Like, I got a young family, and it's been great to get them down to the beach. Enjoy being outdoors more, with such good weather. So that's been awesome. And my wife was actually born in Perth, so she spent her first 8 years, I think it was, being brought up there, and she's got grandparents, aunties, uncles, cousins that are just out of town. So it's been cool for her, and and for myself too, to spend a bit more time with them. And I've really enjoyed it. It's been refreshing and a good part of the world to live in.
And how did you make the move to the Western Force? You went over there in 2024, I presume, for injury cover. Was that correct?
Yeah, correct. So 2023 was my last season with the Hurricanes. I did my Achilles on the last day of pre-season, so that wiped me out for that whole season, 2023 year. I returned with Canterbury, my NPC team, at the back end of the year, which was awesome. Sort of got back to a spot where, I thought my last game was the semi-final against Taranaki, which we lost, unfortunately, but I feel like I was, playing some of my best rugby. So it was good to be able to return from injury and get to a spot where I'm really, really happy with in terms of my performance and fitness. Sort of beyond after that, I was sort of, I suppose, with the season ending at the Canes, I struggled to get an opportunity to return there. I have absolutely no regrets and no bad blood or anything like that. That's sport, and that's how it happens. Obviously disappointed. I put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into that jersey, and absolutely love my time there and the people there too. End of the day, it's business, and they've got some good young loose forwards coming through there that have really making their mark over the last few years. Post NPC, sort of in limbo for a bit there. I had a few convos with Simon Cron, the head coach here at Force, saying that they were interested in looking, but just the way their squad makeup was at the time, they couldn't bring me in around injury cover, so sort of just played that waiting game. And then mid-Feb, got a call that enough injuries had happened that I could get in. So that's where it all happened. I think I got a call on a Friday, that sort of final call on a Friday, and we were there in Perth the following Wednesday, the whole family in tow. So it all happened pretty quick in the end. And once I got there, I was straight into it. Traveled back over to the East Coast and had a game for the development team. And then the following week, I made my debut for the Force. So it all happened pretty quick once I got there.
Of course, Western Force, Perth, it's furthest away in Super Rugby Pacific out of all the teams. When you are at home, it's a luxury, but how difficult is it when the team is on the road?
Yeah, I guess it is a challenge. Like last week, we played in Sydney, so we travel on Thursday morning, and with the time difference and reasonable flight time across the continent, it ends up being like mid-afternoon by the time you get there. So it's like a whole day worth of travel in the end. But that's just part of the parcel, and they've changed up sort of how they or when they travel this year to try make sure so we're going to games fresh. So that it's something that hasn't gone unnoticed, and they're sort of helping us in ways that other teams and other codes have done. But yeah, it is what it is. As a player, it's great being on tour with your teammates. In terms of preparing your week, you've got more chances to connect and get aligned and get that cohesion, which is awesome. And then I suppose for the family minutes, it can get tough, like being away from young ones and wives and partners. So, it's cool. It's good. Like it's a great family, close knit group, this Force team, and that's something I've really enjoyed about it too. And I suppose part of the reason why it's like that is, the touring we do, and then so many people coming to a place from all over the show, really. So it's a cool group to be a part of.
Schooled at Christchurch Boys High School, the Southern Rugby Factory that has won many schoolboy titles. How was your time there at Christchurch Boys?
Yeah, hugely special. Like I absolutely love my time there. Very fortunate. I got to go to such a great school. The thing I loved about it, I suppose looking back, is like all the traditions. Whether that be, how the school runs, the college match. Everything about it was, special. Like I still remember turning up day one and being in the school hall with 1,200 other boys and like singing the school song for the first time. Like, it was hugely special, and certainly proud to have gone there. And I know, I know my wife all the time. Like, anytime we're driving past school, I point it out, and she gets sick of it. But it's something I'm proud of and glad I went to.
How many games did you play for the first 15, and what was your most memorable moment for the Christchurch Boys first 15?
I just had the one season with the first 15, so my year 13 year. I'm pretty sure I played every game that year. So I don't know what that adds up to, maybe between 12 and 15 or something like that. We lost the final to St. Bede's College. I suppose that's memorable because it stings, it hurts. But in terms of the most memorable time, like receiving my cap, that was pretty cool. Playing that college match, that was a highlight. I remember going as a year 9, 10, all the way up as a student, watching the boys play in that match, and always want to be a part of it. So to be a part of that in that final year was awesome, and we won that day. So that'd be the highlight for me.
And that year you played in the college match, what was the feeling like playing in what is one of the top first 15 traditionals in New Zealand?
Yeah, unbelievable. Like, it's so cool. Like this, the whole day is just, it's just about that game. Like the whole school goes. We were playing at Christ College on their field, so the whole school travels there to the game. Running out, like I remember that, like just the crowd and the atmosphere is unbelievable. Like it's something that's so special about New Zealand rugby is like the atmosphere that's created in schoolboy rugby. Like sometimes you don't get anything like it. Going through the games, like I've played in some big games and big atmospheres in my professional career, but the chants, the school huckers, everything about it is pretty cool. And to have that day and a winning one was awesome.
I'm told by someone that you know quite well that where does the nickname Cat come from?
So 2 years out of school, I was with high school old boys, and they have a biannual trip to Argentina, and one of the Argentinians called me a sea face, and I thought he said a bad word, and I was like, what is? And he said cat face, and for some reason that sort of stuck. And then I don't know, maybe then there was sort of around the way I smiled. The reason I called the cat face was because my big smile was looked like a Cheshire cat. So sort of two-pronger there, the reason why that one came about.
How were some of the influences during your time with rugby at Boys High?
Dad's always a big one. Mum and Dad have been awesome in terms of following my career, like right from when I was a junior through school and then seniors and then into my professional career. They've always been there. So a big influence. Like I always remember, it might have been like just before under 13s, Dad saying to me like, "You'll enjoy your rugby more, if you're fit." And not that I wasn't fit, but I don't know. I just remember that vividly, and I remember like since that moment, like training my butt off, whether it was running or starting in the gym. I just wanted to be as fit as I could, and it's certainly true in terms of the fact like when you're fit, you enjoy more because you're able to do more and have more influence in the game. So yeah, Mum and Dad have been huge in my career. In terms of my time at school, like, I had so many coaches through the years. Like, been pretty lucky to have, great people in that space. I suppose around that time when Dad made that comment, my coach at the time who coached my junior club team for a few years and then ended up coaching my first year in under 13s at Boys High. He was mad about fitness, and like I still remember that like his drills on the sideline. He'd just be on his whistle and he'd get us running like back and forth across the field, and every time he blew the whistle was a down up. So yeah, I suppose him sort of starting that around the fitness, and I always remember that. But yeah, like I said, there's been a lot of people through school that have had a great influence, and been pretty fortunate in that space.
Canterbury Rugby program has been a dominant factory for a long time in NPC rugby. When did you make your debut for Canterbury at NPC level?
Yeah, I debuted for Canterbury back in 2014 against North Harbour. That was sort of off the back of a good club season. Got an opportunity through pre-season, and I guess made the most of that too. And then I was still involved with Canterbury Colts as well that year, but I was sort of back and forth between the two teams. And once the Colts program finished, I was sort of retained with the NPC squad for the rest of that year, and debuted against North Harbour, like one of those storm weeks on a Wednesday night, which is awesome. Great occasion, and so proud to represent my home province. And then got another crack, must have been a couple of weeks later against Tasman. So involved with the squad sort of through the back end of that campaign, or the start and back end. And it was just sort of almost a dream come true to represent Canterbury, and I suppose a bit like my club season and pre-season form, like just made the most of every opportunity, and from there Razor signed me on for the next few years with Canterbury, and made sort of the start of my career.
Of course, Canterbury during your time won a few titles, and you also got to wear the captain's armband. Tell us about winning those NPC titles and being captain for Canterbury.
Yep. Won 15, 16, 17, so 3 in a row. As a young player was unbelievable to get into an environment and win straight away like that. It was reflecting on it, like those teams were unbelievable. Like not just the players and coaches that we had, but just how much care there was. Like I know the boys just loved turning up every day, to go to work, and there was just so much fun and enjoyment. And I reckon because of that care and the quality we had, like the success came because of that. It was awesome to be a part of. And in terms of the sort of second part of that question, the captaincy, got the opportunity to captain, I think it was in 2020, 2021. So that was an awesome opportunity. Like there were so many great captains of that team, and like I learned a lot off the likes of Luke Whitelock. When I first came in, and how to prepare a week, how to be a professional, and how to perform consistently. And then I suppose as a leader too, learn how to lead, and I suppose through those sort of 5 years of 6 years of professional rugby before getting the opportunity to captain, like I got to see some great people do it, whether it be Dane Coles or Brad Shields at the Canes, Sam Whitelock, Kieran Reed, guys like that, like just taking bits and pieces from them and learning how they operate and how they lead. And I suppose a big part of being a leader is just being authentic and being yourself. And I try to do that as well. I'm not trying to be a Luke Whitelock or a Brad Shields. I'm trying to be me, but take the good parts that they did and mold it into something of my own.
How did the move to the Hurricanes come about in 2017?
Yeah, so I was with the Crusaders in 2016. That was the last year Todd Blackadder was coaching there, and I might have been like midway through that campaign. Opportunity to go to the Canes came up, and like they gave me a pretty short time frame to make a decision. And the Crusaders, with the change that was happening, they weren't too sure around who the coach was, so then they couldn't make any definitive choices around players. Either they wanted to leave a few more contracts for as it was Razor coming in. So for me, there was just an opportunity there, and just took it with both hands. And I suppose like a lot of my career, like just when the opportunity's there, you got to take it. You got to be ready. And I suppose at the Canes at the time there was Jason Holland. He was one of my first coaches at Canterbury, so it's cool to have that connection. A decision that I'm so glad I made, and had a great time there for the next 7 years.
71 games for the Hurricanes. What was your most memorable moment?
Wins over in South Africa are always special. Like you're away on tour, it's just the players, just the all the playing group and management there. So in such a hostile environment, like wins over there were unbelievable. And then I suppose any environment that I've been a part of, it's about the people. Like you're looking back, the other things that you miss the most is the people. And I was so fortunate to have so many great players to play alongside, and become mates with. So the people, and some of those key wins. Like we didn't get a super title, which was disappointing. Like we came so close. We got pipped by the Crusaders in 18-19 in the semi-finals. We lost to the Lions over in Joburg in the semi-final in 17. Like we were close, but not quite there. But like I think it was the 2019 game against Crusaders. Like it was so close at the end there. Like it could have gone either way. So like we had a really good team, and unfortunately we couldn't get a championship again like they did in 2016. But certainly plenty of memorable moments there.
Last season, when you were playing for the Force, you were the best leading forward in the team with 220 metres from 82 carries. Is that a strength of your game in your rugby development?
I suppose it's something that I've worked really hard on. Looking back, like I've never been the most gifted or naturally talented player. I've just worked my butt off and tried to squeeze out as much of the talent I've got, and always sort of looking to work on and get better. And the ball carry's always been one of them. So I suppose it got to a point where I can carry myself well, but always seeking to get better. And I suppose that's a mindset I've had across my career, just that growth mindset, just to be better than you were last week or be better than you were yesterday, and keep moving forward.
When you had that Achilles injury in 2023, what did you learn from that time when you're recovering from what is a significant injury and you can't play rugby? What did you learn from that year off?
Um, I learned how much I love playing rugby. I remember the game I returned for Canterbury after the whole process. Like it was just any normal week, like preparing, and then like going to put that jersey on. Like I got so emotional in that moment. Like there was no, I don't know, I didn't see it coming type thing. Like, um, yeah, I just got really emotional. Like it meant so much to me to get back out there to represent, at the time Canterbury. So yeah, that was one thing I learned, is how much I still love it and want to give it my best shot. I suppose the around the training, and like it's tough. Like any injured player can tell you, it's like you feel isolated from the team. Like you're on your own program doing your own thing, and all the boys are out in the field training, and you're not there. So it's making a conscious effort to stay involved, like whatever that may be. Like at the time, like at the Canes, I was a leader there, so I was trying to help out with the leadership group as much as I can. I was still part of the defensive group, so helping out where I could there. So just staying connected to the team, staying involved, it was massive. Like for me, like I just still feel a part of it, that I'm adding value. So um, that was certainly it. And then I suppose like anyone else says who's been injured, like it's just the discipline. Like you got to do whatever it takes to get back. It's tough, it's boring. You're by yourself, it's lonely. So you gotta have that discipline. You've got to have that hunger, that deep hunger, that burn, that desire in your belly, even when the motivation's not there at times. So um, there'll be a few things I've learned through that sort of 6 month period.
10-time Maori All Black, you debuted for the Maori All Blacks against Munster in 2016. Tell us about the experience being part of that setup.
Yeah, it's such a unique and special team. Like it's unlike any other team I've played for in terms of like everybody's just so well connected in that, and that's just purely because we physically are, like we're all there by connected by blood. So it's so easy to build that culture around that. Like there's guys out with the guitars on the bus, like in the team room. It's so different. Like we have most evenings we'll come together sort of before dinner, and the co-master of the group, now the late Luke Crawford, who passed away suddenly last year, bring us together and teach us all things about Māori. And it was so special to be a part of. And like the tours we got to go on, like are so different. Like my first one, we started in the USA, then went to Ireland, play Munster, and what a special occasion that was. Such a cool place to play, and so cool to see how I suppose Northern Hemisphere support and play rugby. And then times after that, like played in Brazil, played in Chile, played in Fiji, back to the USA, like playing on a home pitch as well. Like it's been so cool to represent that team, and I'm so proud that I got that opportunity.
What's your plans post your footy career once you hang up the boots? What do you got as a backup for yourself?
So I studied. I started straight out of school and was full time for 3 years before rugby kicked off, and then went part time after that. But just stuck at it, and I finished it. It took 10 years, but I came out with a commerce degree in finance and a law degree. I'm not so sure. Like I'll get into law. Like probably at the time when I made the decision to do that, like it was more around something to supplement the commerce side of things, to I suppose stand out from the crowd that just do commerce. Like I've always enjoyed the business side of things, like watching Dad grow up in a business environment. So that side of the study is probably where I'll go down the path of. And in terms of what I do, like I'm not sure yet. I've since finished studying, like I've done a bit of work experience. I worked at a a financial investment company in Christchurch. In that period while I was injured with my Achilles, like, it wasn't full time. It was just a bit of a project that I was given and chipped away at. And then since coming to Perth, the company that owns the team, Tatarang, managed to do a bit of work experience with them too, with their investment team. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure yet, but using this time since finished study to sort of explore different opportunities and sort of get a feel for what I want to do post my career. But it's certainly going to be in that sort of business finance side of things.
Now, of course, the Western Force take on the Crusaders in Christchurch this Saturday. The Crusaders it's one often been seen as their bogey team, as the Western Force. What's the challenge of facing them this Saturday, considering how well they played against the Reds? What have you read into how they played?
Yeah, they were outstanding last week. When they just looked energised. They had certainly plenty of variation around their attack, and as any Crusaders team, like, they're resolute and defiant in their defence. So anytime you play them, you've got to be at your best. I've learnt that through my career. Like, you're not going to beat them unless you're playing your best footy. So we've had a really good week. We've learnt plenty from last week. And we've really energised ourselves. It's good being based in Christchurch for the week, so we haven't had to travel midweek or anything like that. And you just got to go out there and believe, sort of have that unwavering belief that you can do it. And I certainly see that growing in this group. Since sort of the spring series last year, there's a genuine belief that this group is capable of doing special things.
Reed, it's been fantastic having you on the Hui this evening. All the best on Saturday against the Crusaders and the rest of the Super Rugby campaign.
Cheers, Brad. Pleasure to be on there.
A great insight into a professional rugby player, played for Canterbury and also the Hurricanes, now with the Western Force. Reed Prinsep, a great interview. Make sure you go back and listen to that again. A really good insight into particularly how you bounce back after significant injury like an Achilles that kept him out of rugby for a year. So Reed Prinsep and the Western Force go well down there in Christchurch this Saturday. Of course, here in the capital city, we're only a few weeks away from the start of the club rugby season, the first Saturday of April. It's only 3-4 weeks away, so we cannot wait here on Huddy Sports. We'll keep you up to date with all the games that we will be covering this year in club rugby, first 15 rugby, and other sporting codes here in the Wellington City, including secondary school sports and other club fixtures. We're really looking forward to it. It's been a great year so far. 2 Hurricanes pre-season games. Over 37,000 people watched the Hurricanes men's game against the Blues over there in Wainui-a-Mata. And what a great job the local club there, Wainui-a-Mata, did hosting that game, including Moana Kuma. What an absolute legend. We don't find many great people in our sport like Moana, and she did a great sterling job getting the community together there. And something that probably needs to happen more in rugby is giving the game back to the people. So excellent work there. Now, always here on Huddy Sports, we're on the lookout for sponsors. As always, we want to keep what we do free for you all, in particular, making sure that we keep it on YouTube, free for you to watch. And there's a great opportunity. We're now into getting our videos a lot better, promo videos. So head out to huddysports.co.nz, email us at huddysportsnz@gmail.com, or head to our socials on Facebook or Instagram. You can find us there on those social media apps. Well, that has been the Huddy Hui tonight. It's great to be back 2025. Really looking forward to another year ahead. And the Hurricanes, of course, they take on the Highlanders this Saturday. It's a pretty much must-win now for the Hurricanes. And Highlanders going to be tough to beat. I'm Brad Hudson. Ciao for now.
It's the Huddy Hui. You can find Huddy Sports on Instagram and Facebook. And check out huddysports.co.nz. Here
on Huddy Sports, we like to thank our sponsors that have always been grateful to our causes here on Huddy Sports. Our first sponsor, Mike Penfold Plumbing and Drain Laying Limited. If you need any drain laying or plumbing assistance, give Mike Penfold a call on 027 430 4351 or Penfold Plumbing at extra.co.nz. Louise Reddy of New Zealand Travel Brokers. If you need any travel advice, she's local here in the Hutt Valley in Petone. Call 021 135 3076. Louise Reddy, Louise.Reddy at nztravelbrokers.co.nz. And also to Gavin Murphy and the team at Jen Hickton Funeral Directors. They've been serving Wellington families of their funeral directoring services since 1946. So go to jenhickton.co.nz. They're all local people here in the Hutt Valley and Wellington that service our greater community. We also like to thank Ben Belusnik Visual Designs that helps with the graphics here on Huddy Sports. As here on Huddy Sports, we're always wanting to keep our content free on YouTube. So the idea of sponsors, we can promote you on live stream, our social media pages and our website. It's good to support the local community and helps keep Huddy Sport free for all to watch. So if you're interested to helping Huddy Sports, go to huddysports.co.nz or to our email address, huddysportsnz@gmail.com. Ciao for now.